Okay, good evening. We're up to Daf Nun Vav Amid Beis. Today's Daf is in Zion. We're in the middle of the sugya of what of the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. So we saw yesterday there are Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, Eiv Ben Achai, Birchas Hashem, Gezel, Dinim, and the big three Avodah Zarah, Gilush, Shvichas Damim. Those are the not the Seres Adibris. Those are the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, and so we're up to, I don't know, about 20 lines up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, a little more than 30 lines up. Dinim b'nei Noach. It's mashma dinim b'nei Noach ifkid. If they were one of the 7 mitzvahs that Ben Noach was commanded on, then we have a problem, because we're going to have Bnei Yisrael who were Bnei Noach, because it was before Matan Torah, commanded on dinim. Nun vav amid beis. Okay. Nun vav amid beis. Yeah, today's daf is in Zion. We're in Nun vav amid beis. Dinim b'nei Noach ifkid. You tell me that they were already commanded, and Bnei Noach were commanded in dinim. But Tanya, we learned it in a brisa. Esa mitzvahs t'sav Yisrael b'mara. Yisrael got 10 mitzvahs in Mara. This is before Matan Torah. Sheva shekiblu aleihem b'nei Noach. 7 that b'nei Noach were makabel. V'hoisifu aleihem. And now on those 7, what were added? Dinim v'Shabbos v'kivud v'eim. Dinim d'chsiv sham sam loichayk u'mishpat Shabbos v'kivud v'eim d'chsiv kashet siv chashem l'kecha. So you see that dinim was added on in Mara to the 7 mitzvos. So obviously dinim can't be one of the 7 mitzvos if it was added on in Mara. It can't be one of the 7 mitzvos if it's added on at that point in time. That's the Gemara's kasha. If it's added on at that point in time, it can't be one of the 7 mitzvahs. Avrami Nun Vav Amid Beis, about 18 lines up. Amar Rav Yehuda Kashet Sivcha b'Mara. Why do you mean Kashet Sivcha? Like they were in Mara. In other words, Kabbalah Savicha Esimecha, Zakas Yom HaShabbos Kashet Sivcha. We're Kashet Sivcha in Mara. So now the kasha's bottom line is, if dinim was answered in Mara to the 7, how could dinim be one of the original 7? As we're going to see, Ben Noach is mechuyev misa with one dayan, one aid, and no hasra. So what was added on? So that was existing beforehand. That's dinim. Added on to dinim in Mara, that what? Ada is the 23, Adim, 2 Adim, and Asra. That was added on. But it did exist beforehand, and therefore, thus it's one of the 7 mitzvahs. So Vaisifu dinim means they added on to the existing dinim. My Vaisifu aleim dinim. Vaisifu means aleihem. They added on to the 7 mitzvahs. According to your cheshbon, they didn't add on to the 7 mitzvahs. They just augmented the 7 mitzvahs, right? But it's mashed from the lashon. Vaisifu aleim, and they added in total onto it. Ella Amar Rav and Israel Dini Kanasais. They weren't just in Kanasais, Kefel, Dalad Behei, 50, Shkolims, 100, Mitzvah Shemra, and that was added on. And that was added on. That's what they're saying. But they added on Kanas. That's what they're saying. That they added on not to Bnei Noach, to Klal Yisrael. B'Mara, we got this. In other words, 7 mitzvahs were given to the Goyim, and in Mara to the Jews. But who will be the Jews before Matan Torah was added on these 3 mitzvahs. They're on these 3 mitzvahs, right? Yeah, not to the Goyim. El Amar of Achba Yaakov like Nitzcha Fred Gemara Kati Vasifu Bedinami Boyle. So you still didn't answer the question. So you added on existence, you added on to dinim, you added on Kanasites. It says Vasifu Aleya Mashma. You got a whole new package. There's Mashma that it wasn't there before. So El Amar of Achba Yaakov like Nitzcha Ella. Lahoishiv Bezdin B'chol Plach Uplach. In each Medina we need its Bezdin B'chol Eir V'Eir. So, in other words, so dinim existed beforehand, and when it says Vaisifu Aleim Dinim, that they said that dinim that was beforehand, what should you do to that? You should go ahead and make sure it's established every Medina and every city. You're telling me Bnei Noach were not commanded on? This is this week's parsha, Rabbi Yavi. Vatanya, Kashem Shenetzav Yisrael, Lahoishiv Batei Dinim B'chol Plach each Medina B'chol Eir V'Eir Kach Netzavu Bnei Noach Lahoishiv Batei Dinim B'chol Plach Eir V'Eir. So in other words, that was already there. So how can you tell me they added that on? That was part of their judicial package. So back to the original question: how can you tell me that what? That one of the 7 mitzvahs ben Enoch was dinim when it's mashma they first got it in Mara. Elo Amarava, Hi Tana, this Tana who said the 10, this Tana who said the 10 has a different list of the 7 mitzvahs. And Memela, Haisifan Alayim Dinim, there was existing 7 mitzvahs. Taka Dinim was not one of them, and they added on Dinim. Tana de Menashe, who de Mafik, you take out Dalit Chaf, which is Dinim in Birchas Hashem. The Ayel Sam Chaf, put in Siris and Dinim. Put it Sirius and Kalayim, excuse me. Put in Sirius and Kalayim. So 7 mitzvahs, guys. What were the 7 mitzvahs? Eva Minachai, right? Sirius, right? Sirius and Kalayim, and the big 3, and Gezel, and that's it. So Ben Menuch is, well, we saw that yesterday. Well, those people here yesterday.
Pass you there.
Good. Anyway, Kalayim, we had with Kalayim was one of the opinions is Kalayim, right? And Sirius and castration. It's one of the. Okay, so in other words, so now it makes a lot of sense, fellas. What sense? What's the Gemara's kasha, fellas? How could you tell me? How could you tell me that dinim? That dinim was what? That benachum mitzuvin dinim. You see, they added dinim in Mara. There was 10. 7 existing, and they added on 3, including dinim. Those 7, the original is Tana Be Menashe, who took out dinim Berchas Hashem, replaced it with Sirius and Kalayim, and therefore they added on dinim in Mara. Very good. So very good. This works out. Okay.
No, they have 9.
No, they have 10. They have 10. We replaced the dinim in Berchas Hashem with Kalayim and Sirius, and they added on the 3, Kibbut Avim Shabbos and dinim. The Tana Rebbe Shmuel, Sheva mitzvahs now b'nei Noach, Avodah Zarah, Gilei Aroya, Shvichas Damim, the big 3, Gezel, Evim and Achai, Sirius v'Kalayim, as we just said. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Adam Rishon and Stave El Avodah Zarah Bavad. There's no say he didn't get 7 mitzvahs. They were given to Noach. He was only commanded about on Avodah Zarah. Shnemar, Vayitzav Hashem Elokim ala Adam. What was he mitzvah on? Elokim. He was mitzvah on having an Elokus. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira Omer Afal Birchas Hashem. He was also not only on Elokus on Avodah Zarah, he was a Birchas Hashem as well. They're both also from the same Nakuda of recognizing that there's a deity, there's a Rebbeinu Shalom. V'yesh Oimim Afal Adinim. There are those who say that Adam was mitzvah. So according to this, it wasn't 7. It was Avodah Zarah. It was Birchas Hashem and Dinim. Now the Yesh Oimim, the one that says Dinim. Kiman Oz LaHadam Rabbi Yehuda Amarav. So it says HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Adam, Elokim ani, I am Hashem, loisakaleluni. Do not go ahead, loisakalel, don't bench me. Elokim ani, loisameruni, do not go ahead and rebel against me. Elokim ani, hey moira aleichem, the moira should be on you. So let's see the bottom Rashi, guys. 2 lines in the bottom. Hey moira aleichem, kidamin Elokim is lashon shrara for abundance. It's lashon leadership. It says Moshe Rabbeinu was made an Elokim leparo. Elohim leparo, right? Elohim, I made you a shrara, I made you a head over paro. Yehi moira alecha, that the fear should be to me on the Rebbeinu Shalom, v'lei mora basav adam, and not to fear a leader. So you have a leader in Elohim, don't fear them. Fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Hashem is telling what? Adam. Lei seguru b'fnei ish, don't be scared of a person. Kem mishpat l'Elohim hu, the hainu dinim, because the mishpat l'Elohim, that's dinim. So therefore, this goes according to the Yeshomrim. They're the only one. Who does this go according to? Kimam ki Yeshomrim, who said that dinim. So again, you have Chaluke Deis is what to the Zion Mitzvahs Bnei Noach were. Our Kabbalah is the one we said yesterday, right? Evim Menachai, Birchas Hashem, Gezel, dinim, and the big 3. We have an opinion that what Menashe, that who said that take out dinim and Birchas Hashem and put in Sirius and Kalayim, and yesterday we learned that from the pasuk Vayitzav Hashem al Kilam Onam Leima Mikol Yitzagan Tocha. So we said Vayitzav is what is dinim, Hashem is Birchas Hashem, Elokim is Avodah Zarah, dinim is Vayitzav Hashem Elokim Al Ha'adam is Shvichas Damim, Leimar is Gil Aroyas, Mikol Yitzagan Eichel. You could eat from all Yitzagan, which is Gezel, and Eichel Tachal and Yitzagan Leisachal is going right on the. I'm mixing it up. Eitzav is coming on lemacholi. It's going to Eitzav. That's Eitzav kan loisachal. So again, they don't eat even minachai. Don't eat even minachai. Ochel tochel. You could eat, but not gezel. Okay, so the Gemara now has to work out according to these opinions. What do they do with that pasuk? We had this pasuk in Bereshis, right? Vayitzav Hashem Elokim. That's where we learned the 7. These people who did not learn out, the Tana ben Menashe in particular, what does he? Where does? So the Gemara wants to know the following: Tana ben Yishmael. Now Tana ben Yishmael, who guys, he had 7, right? Now where did he get it from? If he's learning like Vayitzav Hashem Elokim Elamar, then he should have Dinim and Berchas Hashem. And if he's not learning that pasuk, how do you get 7? Guys, you hear the kasha. He's learning there are 7. Instead of dinim and birchas Hashem, you have what? You have sirus and kalayim. Now, where does he get that from? If he's learning vayitzav, he should have what? Dinim and birchas Hashem, just like the other Tana did. So says the Gemara, Tana ben Menashe, I dorish vayitzav. If he dashes vayitzav Hashem kalayim lemar, afil hanach nami. Then even the other ones also birchas Hashem and dinim should be included. Eloi dorish vayitzav. Hani minale, and then how does he know the other? Gili Aroyas Gesel, how does he know any of those? He says, Well, Oilam loy dorish. Hitaka does not darish vayitzav. And Hani kol chodev chodev abinavshik siva. And all the others, what? He learns by themselves. In other words, he has a makar for all the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, but not from the same pasuk, from different pasukim. And now the Gemara is going to give us the different pasukim. Avoid zar v'gili Aroyas. Where does he know avoid zar v'gili Aroyas from? The Chsiv, it says by Noach. That the land was what? Was corrupt. The lashon of Ashchasa. But Tanad Rabbi Yishmael, and they learned in the Yeshiva Rabbi Yishmael, B'chol Makom shenemar Hashchasa, Einu elo devar erva v'avedis kechavim. Devar erva d'shev ki hishus kol says darkoi. That's in Parshas Noach. And by Avodah Zarah it says the Chsiv pentashchisan vasisem. We come to Eretz Yisrael, lest you go ahead and act like they do, which was Avodah Zarah. We said the source of Avodah Zarah what is in Eretz Yisrael. And the Gemara in Chulin says that anything that they kept avodah zarah chutz from Eretz Yisrael was what was. Indeed, fellas, the Gemara tells us that the whole reason for avodah zarah was tamata arayas. The reason for avodah zarah was to get to arayas. So it's very good that you're linking them together, right? Because really, the reason for avodah zarah was to go ahead and mata arayas. So therefore, this puts them together. So that takes care of 2. Okay. The idach and the Tanakamus who right? What does he do with this pasuk? And what does he do with Tanakh Yisrael's this source? The idach uchayu the kamagle. He's just going ahead what? And the one who's got some Ayritzav, where does he learn it from? He's just going again and revealing what was the reason for the destruction. Right? Look at Rashi. The idach 2 lines from the bottom, from the top. Man darish vayitzav amalacha as haram vayitzav huzer adam arishain. The Vayitzav is the one who tells us about Dinam. Just showing the way they were. Why they got punished? Not telling you this is a tzivui that of avodah zarah and Gilei Roy. It's just telling you, you know why they were destroyed because of this reason. People make mistake, guys. They think that if you ask why was the Dora Mabel destroyed, they'll say Gezel. The lashon is like nechtam gezardin el al Gezel. The chasima was on Gezel. The reason they were destroyed was because of Arroyos. Arroyos was the predominant Avera, right? That was the Avera. Okay. Shvichas damim. So we had shvichas damim we had the word Adam. By Yisavish came out Adam. T'chsiv shofeach dam Adam be'Adam. By Noach it says, by Noach guys it says, shofeach dam ha'Adam be'Adam. Someone who spills the blood of man when it's in man. So that's the source for what? For shvichas damim, that you can't go ahead and kill. So this is where Adam, when Noach is given the right to eat, and he's commanded not to go ahead, since he can kill animals to eat them, he's commanded not to kill Adam. The idach, what does the one who learns from Yitzav learn around? Katalaihu he the megale. It's being megala the way to kill. Shofeach dam Adam bi Adam. Okay, so if you look at Rashi on Nunvav Amid Aleph, guys, we had this Rashi. The Rashi is Dibra Maschel, Eina Ella Sayif. Right, it's the Rashi, Eina Ella Sayif. So what do you see from Eina Ella Sayif? If I could just find it, it would be great. I have written over there, but of course I can't find any. Do you have it, Benjamin?
4 lines down from the wide line.
Where it gets what flowing down from the white line?
In the Gemara.
Yeah.
4 lines down from where it gets wide in the Gemara.
Okay, where it gets wide in the Gemara, 4 lines down. Ela Eina Ella Sayif, Tichsiv Behu, Shafech Dam Be'odam, Dama Yishafech. His blood you should spill. Umisa Acheres Leihuskru Behem. So which is the means of killing where the blood spills out? Sayif. So therefore, that's how you know from this pasuk that all goyim, the Sheva Mitzvahs Mei Noach, they get judged b'sayif. They get judged b'sayif. Guys, so Geshmak, you, the Tana Baby Shmuel, who don't learn from the pasuk Vayetzav, you use this to teach you that it's a Ben Noach is Musar on Shvichas Damim. The Amar who learns from Vayetzav Hashem Elokim Ala Adam Leimar Ala Adam. So he uses pasuk to tell me, how do you kill the guy who's over on the Issa? Shafech dam dama yishafech, his blood you spill. Why? Because you're going to chop lop off his head. So that's what he uses it for. Gezel, where do you see Gezel? Because by Noach it says, guys, by Noach it says, Kol remesh asher hu chai lochem yeh la'achla. Anything that crawls, anything that's alive, you could eat. Ki yerek esev nasati lechem eskol. Like the yerek of the esev, I've given it you. Like now, and ki yerek esev, says the Gemara, nasati lechem eskol. Vam Rab Levi ki yerek esev v'loy ki yerek gina. Esev, guys, is mashma that grows in the wild. Gina is a garden. Why? Because that's gezel. That's stealing. So you could eat meat like you can eat an Esev, but you can't eat the vegetables in the garden because that would be stealing from someone else. So that's the source of Gezel, like the Tana Rabbi Shmuel. The Idach, what does the one who learn from Yitzav? What does he do with this pasuk? The pasuk's not, it's not coming to tell you about Gezel. It's coming to tell you, man, it's coming to tell you the man part of the pasuk. Until then, Adam was not able to eat meat, and now he's able to eat meat. Okay. Eva min achai, dichsiv, ach basa benafshay dama lo yisachelu. After again, Noach is given, since Noach is able to kill the animals, he's given all the guidelines. A, you can't kill a human being, and B, you can kill the animal, but you can't cut off a piece of the animal. So that's what he learns. And the Idach who learns, that's to admit something, guys, that the nefesh and the basa are two distinct things. It seems a sheretz that the basa and the body are one thing. One thing, therefore, there's no din of Evim and Achai by a sheretz. Sirus, where does he learn Sirus from? Again, he learns, he took out Dinim and Birchas Hashem, and he puts in Sirus and Kalayim. Sirus Tichsiv, Shirtzu Ba'aretz V'Revuva, says that it says to Noach, go ahead, swarm forth in the earth and procreate. So that's V'idach Lebracha Ba'alma. That's a bracha. After there was again, how many people in the world? They gave the Teva. There was 8 people. So he said, needed a bracha. So shitzu baras ruva. No, there's no shchita by a fish. There's no shchita by a fish. No. Klayim dechsiv meha oif liminehu. So let's see Rashi on this, guys. Mina oif liminehu midin itztavel lehevi zachu nekevel leteva. When Noach was commanded to go ahead and bring in the teva to bring the animals liminehu mikol min v'loishi is davig loy min acher, and not to go ahead and put another min with it. Shmamina asurim la'avir kalayim. It's also to go ahead and have kalayim. So in other words,
By animals,
what?
It's only by animals cleaned up by vegetables.
We said that was mutta. We said it was mutta. We said only animals harva. Right. And the idach, and why does the one who learns Vayetzav, where does he learn Sirus from? In other words, I don't understand the kasha. He didn't consider Sirus one of the 7 mitzvahs of Noach. Guys, what's the kasha? I guess what does he do with this pasuk? But why does he have to do anything with the pasuk? The idach, it's not a tzivoy, it's that what? Guys, look at Rashi Vidach. La mishum isakalayim. Elitzaves ba'alma. It's for companionship. Shekol echa v'echa noyach lo elitzaves minay mitzaves menacha. They want to, birds of a feather flock together. You want to stay within your, you don't want to go ahead and hang out with some strangers. So this is tzavas ba'alma. Very geschmack. Amar Yosef, Amar Beirav, Al Sholish mitzvahs ben Noach nerag. On 3 mitzvahs, not all 7. Al Sholish mitzvahs ben Noach. This is the beginning of the Gemara. We're going to see at the end of the Gemara they get killed for all of them. But the bottom line is, let's look at Rashi. Al Sholish mitzvahs ben Noach nerag. The afal pi shenitztavu b'sheva. Even though they were commanded 7, they're only going to get killed for 3. Ein neragim ela al sholish. Ki the parish luhu rav sheishes. The b'shvichas domim ksiva behedya. By shvichas domim, it's written openly. Dama yishafech. V'gili aroyas lebrichas Hashem ksiv gabe Yisrael ish ish. V'dashinin luhu ish ish. L'Rabbi says akutim hu agoyim liyos b'misa ki Yisrael. So the 3 that you're going to die for is avodah zara, shvichas domim, and birchas Hashem. And gili aroyas and birchas Hashem. What?
To get saved.
We'll see. So now, okay. So what's the Gili Aroyas, Shvichas Damim, and Birchas Hashem? Al Gili Aroyas, Shvichas Damim, Birchas Hashem. Maskif lo Rav Sheshes. Bishleim Shvichas Damim, I know you died, Chsiv, Shafech, Dam Adam, Adam, Dam Yishafech. El Hanach, Birchas Hashem, and Gili Aroyas, Minalahu. If you're going to learn from Shvichas Damim, just like a guy gets killed for Shvichas Damim, he gets killed for the others as well. I feel a kulinami. So why you limit it to the other 2 fellas? Extend it, right? And not just the other 2, but extend beyond that. In other words, all the other ones. Imishim this Rabbi mi ish ish, and if you're going to tell me that it's the double lashon when it says ish ish to include a guy, so avodas kachav nami is Rabbi mi ish ish. So why limit it to Birchas Hashem and Gili Aroyas where it says ish ish? You can also include avodah zara. So what? We have 3 things. We have Gili Aroyas, Shvichas Damim, and Birchas Hashem. Shvichas Damim says openly. Gili Aroyas and Birchas Hashem is ish ish. Now, if that's ish ish, you should include a 4th one. You should include avodah zara where it says ish ish as well. The extra ish to include a guy. Say Ella Amrav Sheishes Amri Beirav. Guess what? Al Arba mitzvahs ben Noach nerag. You're right. Right? They'll get killed for avodah zara too. Why? Because ish ish. Fred the Gemara. Avodas kechovim ben Noach nerag. Does the ben Noach get killed for avodah zara? But Tanya, avodas kechovim devorim shebezn se Yisrael mamitim aleim. If a bezn Yisrael would kill the Jew for this, ben Noach muzar aleim. Right? Mashma as hora in misa lo. It's mashma they're warned to, but not misa. Mashma they're warned to, but not misa. So guys, this is I have underlined. Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak. Ashara shalahen suhi misasan. The ashara is their misa. The ashara is their misa. What? So Mendy asks, why does ashara? So if you look at Rashi's 2nd line down, ashara shalahem klaimar. Kol ashara the tana gabe ben Noach. Any warning that is said by ben Noach, zuhi misa shalahem. That's their misa. They weren't medayik by any of the Shev Mitzvah Noach to go ahead and say Mosyuma, Sreifa, this, that, and the next thing. Vashara b'sheim ben misa kilagabe Yisrael, and Vashara b'sheim ben misa kilagabe Yisrael. So he was not dayik to learn a misa gabe chayve misas Vashara. Now, as by a Jew, we had 2 things. You had Azhara separately and Misa separately. By a guy, you didn't have that. All you have is the Azhara. Why? Because that Azhara, that you can't do it, that's enough to kill you. That's enough to kill you. The Azhara... No. They don't need Azhara. They don't need Azhara. The Azhara is that... means warning, that every Ben Noah... tell a guy you have 7 mitzvahs. And if you don't keep him, you're dead.
Oh, so if he goes ahead, he does avodah zara, he gets kill him. Right?
Any avodah zara, shvichas, all 7, all 7. I'm going to bring this Rambam in once. I'll bring it in. I didn't send it out. I should have sent it out, but just listen to the lashon of the Rambam, guys. Listen to the Lashon Rama. It's in Hilchas Malachim, Perik Tes, Halacha Yadalit. The Ketzin Hey Mitzvah Maladinim. What's dinim by a goy? Chayiv lahoishiv dayonim b'shoiftim b'chol plach plach. They're supposed to go ahead and set up dayonim in each medina, ladain, to judge them b'sheish mitzvahs elu, to go ahead and judge them on the 6 mitzvahs that they have. Ulahazer esa'am, and to warn them. And so that's how they warn. Uben noyach she'avar al achas misheva mitzvahs elu yargu b'sayif. They get killed. Ketzad. Echad oived avodah zara. Oishe birach es Hashem. Oishe shafach dam. Oishe bol achad mishesh aroyes shalahem. We didn't meet who their royes are. Oishe gazel. Afilu pachas mishava pruta. Oishe ochal kolshu me'ev menachai. Even not a kazayas. Kolshu. Oy basam menachai. Oishe roa echad shavar al achas me'elu v'leidanu. And they see someone who was over on these and didn't judge them. Harizeh Yareg B'Sayif, he's going to get what? He's going to get killed with Sayif. And that he concludes that the Rambam, I stood short, the Rambam says that. Right there. You heard it, I know. The Rambam, maybe you heard it from the Ramban. The Rambam says that. Just Ravi brought it in, so I'll bring it in. Look at the Lashon of the Rambam, guys. Says the Rambam, Umifnei zeh nischayiv kol bali Shechem hariga. All the people of Shechem were mechuyev to be killed. Shahari Shechem gezel. Shechem went ahead and stole Dina. V'him ra'u, and they saw it. V'yedu, and they knew about it. V'lei dinuhu, and they didn't judge him. U'benoach nerag be'ed echad, u'bedayin echad b'lei asra, v'alpi kroivim. Avlei be'ed esisha, v'lei tadni shalem.
So let me ask something crazy. So let's say in Brooklyn, they didn't set up a court. There's no court system on that. You killed everybody because you either didn't. You didn't set up, there was no, you have to kind of set up a court. They're pella. So you have to kill them all since they didn't do it.
But you'd have to set up a court, but you have to they'd have to have the knowledge to set it up. You'd have, as a Rasa means they have to know about it. They have to know about it. There are people who keep the Noahide laws. There are people who keep the 7 Noahide laws. As a matter of fact, Penny, I'm going to teach Lugo. This guy's, we have a Schwarzer trainer who's very interested in Judaism, and he wanted to get tefillin. He's jumping a little bit ahead. So I'm gonna tell him they should keep the 7 mitzvahs, because if you could keep the 7 mitzvahs, there's likely to something. You know, he eats ostrich. I don't know if that goes into. I don't know. Hmm? Yeah, yeah. They keep it not. You know I forgot. I read once. They asked. He was about Shuva, and he said he kept the Zayin mitzvahs because what was the hardest one? Gezel. Guys, Gezel's less than a Shava Pruta. Why? Because they only have 7. Uncle Elliot, they only have 7. Uncle Elliot, they only have 7. As I said, no, they only have 7. I mean, how? Think about it. They can get to who knows where with keeping those 7. Just be makpid, right? Says the Gemara. Rav Huna Rav Yehuda v'kula Talmidei the Rav Amri al Sheva mitzvahs ben noach nerak. So you have a little. We just gave you a little. We greased the skids a little earlier. Then they get killed not on 3, not on 4, but 7. Each one of the 7 Gil Arroyos, and the Rambam paskin not like Sirius and Kalayim. He paskin like what, like the original Tana. So Avim and Achai, Bechas Hashem, Gezel, Dinim, and the big 3, they would go ahead and get killed for each one of them. Goli Rachmana Bechada by Shvichas Damim, Vuadin Lekula. Okay, Ve'ala Gezel ben Noach Nerag, Vatanya. Ala Gezal Ketzad, Gonav v'Gazol, v'chein Yifas Tayar, v'chein Kiyotze Behen. Okay, guys, hulk up. What does it mean Gezel by a goy? 1, Ganif. 2, Gezel. 3, v'chein Yifas Tayar, which is a form of Gezel, you're stealing a woman. And 4, v'chein Kiyotze Behen. Similar to what? To Gezel, similar to Yifas Tayar. So now we're going to have a few scenarios. Kuti b'kuti, a kuti stealing from a kut. V'kuti b'Yisrael, or a kuti stealing from Yisrael is asar. V'Yisrael b'kuti mutter, but Yisrael to steal from a guy is mutter again. We had the sugi at the end of Baba Kama, there is other days. Okay, there's other days of whether gezel ager, gezel agoy, gezel akum. V'im isa, right? If im isa, and if you're telling me what. That you're chayiv misa, For gezel, don't say aser nisni chayev. You should learn chayev. After the Gemara Mishum the Kaboy lemisne sefer Yisrael bekuti mutter tani reisha aser. The opposite of mutter is aser. Since you learn mutter, you learn aser. We pater and chayev. So really, you are mechuyev misa. The reason we learned the lashon of what aser is because of the heter for a Jew to steal from a guy. V'hakol heicha de islei chiyuva misna katani. Right. Anytime there's a chiyuv misa, right? They learn chiyuv. Heicha de islei chiyuva misna katani. The katani reisha al shvichas damim kuti bekuti Yisrael chayev. Yisrael b'kuti pater if he kills him. So you see that what chayev says the Gemara. Now what would you learn, guys? You learn asam. If you're telling me you learn asam and mutter, hasam hechi listening. How would you learn? Listening asam and mutter vatanya kuti v'roi behema daka leimailin v'lei meiridin. Pirish. It's not permitted for a Jew to go ahead and let's say there's a pit. There's no mitzvah for you to take the guy and put him in the pit. Mutter would mean you could put him in the pit. You can't put him in the pit. So therefore, the teretz is a good teretz. The reason really mechuyev mis is what on all Zayim mitzvahs. I learn chayiv. Don't learn what? Don't learn asa. The reason we learn asa is mutter. By shvichas damim you did learn chayiv because it's misa. Says the Gemara, you had no option because you couldn't learn what asa and mutter because it's not mutter. Okay. Now we said we had Geneva, we had Gezela, Geneva, we had Yifas Toyer, Uchayotzeba. Now the Chayotzeba is going, what's Chayotzeba of Gezela? In other words, it's Gezela, but not in Gansen, right? It's not in Gansen Gezela. Okay? Chayotzeba begezel maihi, Amar Vachba Yaakov, Leinitzucha ela lepoil bekerem. A guy who's working in the kerem and he's going to eat the grapes. Fred the Gemara, when exactly is he eating the grapes? Poil bekerem emas. If he's speaking about when the grapes are finished and he's harvesting the grapes, Hetiru, the Torah says you could eat. Right? You could. Elad b'shask ma'amalacha, and it's not b'shask ma'amalacha. That's not kiyotzeba. That's gezid ma'alia. That's outright gezel. That's not similar to gezel. Says the Gemara. Ella amra papa like nitzra lepachas mishava pruta. That a guy is what is ke'ein gezel. In other words, it's not really gezel because it's not worth anything, right? On the other hand, since he's mitzvah on a kiyotzeba, therefore he's chayiv. Ihachi kuti b'Yisrael asa. So a kuti b'Yisrael is asa. Habar mechilahu. A kuti, why should it be asa? Any Jew is going to be meichel on less than a shavar puta, right? Says Mar nihi de basa hachim machalei. Good after the act is done, he's going to be meichel. So it's tzayre b'shaitei mi lesla. He doesn't have it tzayre when it's taken away from him. So therefore, enochinami. Kuti b'kiyuti. Okay, kuti b'kuti kiyaytze behen. What? Says the Gemara. Kuti b'kuti kiyaytze behen. We bought less than a shavar puta. The lav b'nei mechilinenu gesel aliyahu. Now, for a guy, less than a shavar puta is the same thing as shavar puta. A Jew is not meichel on shavar puta. So the comparison, the action of bishlema, if it doesn't mean anything to you, so you could say it's ke'ein gezela. But if it means something to you, then it's outright gezela. If you would steal a shavar puta, a kuti from a Jew, could he steal a shavar puta? Absolutely not. Good. So just like a Jew to a Jew can't steal a shavar puta, a kut to a kut cannot steal a less than a shavar puta. So even the labani mechilaninu gesam al. From that question, therefore, we're still looking for where's kiyotzeba by gezela. Holding back payment. Now, this is not mamish gezela. Why? Because gezela is vayigzel esachanis, that you do an action of taking. Holding back wages, you didn't do an action of taking. So kuti Yisrael asa to hold back wages. Yisrael b'kuti mutta. Okay, so that's the kiyotzeba by gezel. Notice they don't. You have a kiyotzeba by geneva, guys. They couldn't find one. They said the kiyotzeba is only going on gezel and yifas toyer. It's not going back on geneva. You can't find the kiyotzeba by geneva. Kiyotzeba yifas toyer mahi kiyoser dimi amar balaza amar chanina ben noyach sheyachet shivcha laavdoi. A ben noyach goes ahead. He takes a shivcha and says this shivcha is going to be miyuchid. She's not going to be passed around. She's going to be miyuchid for this man. Ubo aleha, and right, and someone else comes and has relations with her. Nerag aleha, you're going to be killed for that. You're going to be killed for that. So that's ke'en yifas tayar, by taking a woman that's belongs to somebody else. Kiyotze ba the shvichas damim loitanya. We didn't have a kiyotze ba shvichas damim. Why not? Amar Abaya imishkachas. If you do find it, the Tana of Yonasan ben Sholhi. It's the Tana of Yonasan ben Shol. The Tanya of Yonasan ben Shol Oimer. Roidev acha chaveru lahargai. Someone is running after his friend to kill him. V'yochel atzilim be'echem me'ivarav, and he's able to go ahead and save himself, and not by not killing him, by wounding him. V'lo hitzil, and then he doesn't do it. Neragalav. That's the opinion of Yonasan ben Shol, that he would get killed for that. So that would be similar to what you get killed for, similar to shvichas damim, because your mamish weren't shefeach damim, because you could have done something else. Top Rashi, neragalav, hainu kiyaitzeba. The shvichas damim that have a korov lahatir. It's like it's shvichas damim because the einay muta. It's korov lahatir because you're able to hit the guy, but not kill him. The einay muta, kuti b'yisrael chayiv. Kuti b'chayiv, and if a kuti by Yisrael injures him, the chen Yisrael b'Yisrael would be chayiv. Av Yisrael b'chuti pata. They said you won't find shvichas damim because we paskin, if someone's chasing after you, you don't have to go ahead and concern yourself with hitting in one of the avarim. You can kill the guy outright. Okay, so that's why only call Yonasan ben Shol would you have a kiyotzeba. That's mamish not shvichas damim. It's similar to Ashkech Rav Yaakov bar Acha da have ksiv b'sefer Agadah to the Rav. We found in the sefer Agadah in the yeshiva Rav. Ben Noach Nerag, this is what the Rambam said, that we saw in the Rambam. B'dayin echad, one judge. Be'eid echad, one aid. And shaloi behasra, without any hasra. Mamish b'chumen. Mi pi'ish, the only one who can be a dayin or an aid is a man. V'lemi pi'isha, but a woman can't be a dayin or an aid, by Ben Noach. V'afilu karev, even a karev could be an aid. Mishum Rabbi Shmuel Omer, af alahu ubarim, even what on ubarim. Rashi ala ubarim, hika esa isha, v'yatsa yiladeha, nerag aleihem. If you hit a woman and the child comes out, right? This is hashtag abortion. Ubi Yisrael at sheyetze la'av la'olam kitetnam mesechta nida tinaik b'yom echad hahoyreg chayev. If you kill a child that's a day old, you get killed. As long as you could ascertain that his limbs are totally formed and it's not an ephel, you get killed. So in Judaism, you're only considered a child. You're only considered a child when you're born, right? And therefore, if you would kill a child in its mother's stomach, or you would abort a child, you would not be chayiv. It's asa, but you won't be chayiv. A goy, according to Rabbi Shmuel, shofeach dama adam, says the Gemara. Let's see it inside. Menani miliam Rav Yehuda the Amakra aches dimchel nashasechem edrois afilu b'dayin echad. It's mashma eloshin yachid. Miyad. Here's the pasuk. Let me give you the whole pasuk. I'm going to dash in the pasuk. So Noach is told he can go ahead and eat the animals. As dimchel nashasechem edrois. Your blood for your soul I will seek. Miyad from the hand, kol chaya from any animal, edrasheno, umiyad adam, miyad ish achiv edrash es nefesh adam. Okay, so that is now. What do we do with this pasuk? Aches dimchem your nefesh l'nafshechem edrash. This is also an issue of suicide, guys. This is the issue of suicide. The nefesh. If you take your own nefesh, right? You dimchem, you're taking your own nefesh. This is the pasuk that asks suicide. I feel. And also it's a lashon of yachid, so I feel b'dayim echad miyad kol chaya. I feel shlei basra. Guys, you're going to warn the chaya not to kill. You can tell lion if you kill the man, you're going to get killed. The lion says, "Yum, yum." So he obviously don't need asra. I feel shlei bahasra edrashena, even without asra edrashena umiyad adam. I feel beid echad miyad ish v'lei miyad isha achiv. I feel karev. Because it says achiv afilu karev. Rabbi Yishmael loy ma'afalu barim. My time to Rabbi Yishmael d'chsiv shafeach dam adam ba'adam dam yishafech. Okay, Eza shehu ba'adam. Who's an adam in an adam? This is an uba what that's in bnei imay. So this is an isser l'chayra of like Rabbi Shmuel. This would be the isser of abortion. Guys, look at me. Shayfeach dama adam. Anyone who spills the blood of man, but adam when it's in man. So you have a baby that's inside a woman, man being the general man, right? Dam yishafech. So according to this Rabbi Shmuel, so again, there's tremendous truvis on abortion, whether it's permitted or not. It became very. Moshe spoke out about it very prominently. I'll give you a source. It's Samach Aleph. It's in Chelik Beis Mechoshen Mishpat. It's Tzadik Aleph, and he spoke out a very strong tshuva connected abortion because in '73 you had Roe versus Wade. So what's that? But it used to be. It used to be. It used to be, and Ramesha felt the need to speak out about it and the Issa. So just a very interesting a very interesting to hear from that I thought about. And Heshi was Ramas to it a little bit. Guys, listen to this. This is crazy. Look at the lashon of the Rambam. The lashon of the Rambam. Listen to the lashon of the Rambam, guys. Now, what is dinim? I'm giving you what is dinim? What is dinim? Says the Rambam, the Ketzehu mitzuva ala dinim. Where do you find a guy is mitzuva on dinim? Chayavim lahoishiv dayanim b'shoiftim b'chol plachu plach. You have to set up a court system. And what are they judging? Lodoin b'sheish mitzvahs elu. They're judging that you keep what? These 6 mitzvahs. That's the okay. So the mitzvah of dinim is to set up a court and to judge them on the other 6 mitzvahs. So now let's go through this. So shvichas domim means it's usher, certainly regular murder, but even abortion would be usher. So if you have a goy shadakta that is doing abortions, he's mechuyev misa al pi what? Okay, so now the guy is outside the abortion clinics killing them. They're doing the right thing because they don't want to be over on dinim. If they were like the Rambam, if you're allowing these guys to carry out abortion, you're chayiv misa. That's much better. You're chayiv misa because you're over on dinim. You're letting this guy get away from one of the big 6. So let Rabbi Shmuel, the guys outside killing him, they're right. And the ones killing the people who are killing them are wrong. Go ahead and tell this to a guy, even though it's their mitzvahs. Go explain this to a guy. It's unbelievable. So I thought about this a while ago. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. Tanabai Menashe. Who the Ama Kol Misa Amura L'Meinayach Ein El Chenek. He says that it's not Sayif, it's Chenek. Now, where do we learn Sayif, guys? Shafech Dama Adam Ba'Adam Dama Yishafech, right? So we said his blood, you're spilling the blood. Good. He says chenek. Now, where does he get chenek from? The shadilei hai ba'adam as-sefer the kra v'darish behachi shafech dama adam. Now, kama the adam dama yishafech. Ba'adam, how do you kill him? That the adam, the blood should be inside the adam. How is the blood inside the adam? Strangulation. There's no blood coming out. So he doesn't dash in shafech dam adam be'adam. He died be'adam dam yishafech. He says in Adam his blood, in Adam his blood you should spill, right? In Adam his blood you should spill. What's that? That is chenek. That's chenek. Very 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 geschmack. Maser Rav Amnuna v'isha loy mifkeda. Women are not mitzvah what in dinim. We said women can't be dayanim, and they can't be what? They can't be edim. Now it says by Sedoim, Avram Avinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says rhetorically to himself, how can I not tell about Avram about Sodom? And the lashon of the pasuk is ki yedativ. I know Avram, asher yitzav es banav es beisei achrav. How he will command him and his children afterwards. Lastly, tzedakah mishpat. Now, what does lastly tzedakah mishpat mean? To judge, correct? Now, he's going to go ahead and command who? He's command as Banov, as Beisai Achrav. Who's his Banov? Sons. Who's Beisai? Beiso is a woman, right? And it says last is to do what? Tzedakah mishpat. So you see that the women are also mitzvah in dinim. They're also mechuyev in their part. They could be dinim. They could be dayanim. Fred the Gemara again. Masram Nuna v'ishlay mifkeda to be a dayan or to be a eid vaksiv ki yadativ. I know him. L'man hashayit sabes banav es beis of acharav. So it says the Gemara, who moisav la, v'hu mifarik la. He asked the question and he answered the question. He asked the question and he answered the question. Banav ladin beis of tzedakah. It's make a pshara. Banav is ladin. It says tzedakah mishpat. So the mishpat's going on the banav, and the tzedakah is going on the girls. Only Rav Avya sabel or papa. Ema bas noach shaharga like the hareg. Since what? What are you dashing the pasuk, fellas? You dashing the pasuk. The achas dimchel nashusechem edrosh miyal kolchaya deshenu miyad odam miyad ish achiv. He said ish v'lo isha. So therefore, you tell me that she's not what? She pat from misa. You'll say the same thing. So what are you going to say? You'll say she's pater from misa. Ema basnoya shaharga like the hareg miyad ish v'lo miyad isha. Let's dash in that way. Ksiv. Amalei hachi am Rav Yehuda. Shafeach dam odam mikol makayim. Shafeach dam odam mikol makayim. Ema basnoyach shezinsa like the hareg ksiv. Al ken yazav ish. Let's dash in ish v'lo isha. Amalei hachi am Rav Yehuda. V'hayi lebasar echad. Hadar vinukra. So they got, even though it says al ken yazav ish, then it says v'hayu they. Basar echad is one. So obviously it's going on both. Torah ish, matam laimar, ish. The Rabbi says hakutim shemuzar mal aroyas ki Yisrael. Right there, it says ish the pasuk. We said the v'chum gili aroyas. Now we learned it out from laimar. We learned that by tzavashem adam laimar. Right. It says more mehach nafka. We learned from ish mehasim nafka. Right. Pasuk ish is called sher b'saroy. Right. Ish is called sher b'saroy loisak sikruvu legalis avas ani Hashem. So you have a pasuk that says ish, the extra ish to include a guy. Fred the Gemara, by Yitzhava Shemel Kem Adam Leimar. Leimar is mashma what? That's where you learn it from. But you learn it from ish, you learn it from Leimar. There's the Gemara Zeg Gili Aroyas, Zeg Gili Aroyas. After Gemara Hasam by Yoris to do. By that, right? That pasuk of Leimar is speaking about their parsha. Guys, as we're going to see, they have a distinct parsha. Predominantly Ashes Ish is also, I think, maternal sister. We'll see in a second. Man, Behema. They have, their parsha of Arayis is very limited. So when it says Vayitzhava Hashem el Kem Adam Leimar, that's speaking about Leimar, the Gilei Arayis of the limited Gilei Arayis of a Ben Noach. When we're not ish, you know what we're doing? We're including him in the parsha of the comprehensive parsha of Achrimos. It says, "Aroyas di done." The Kani Seifa, Bol al Aroyas Yisrael Nidin B'dina Yisrael. If they have a guy has a relation with one of the ervas that's also to a Jew, then they're going to be judged as a Jew. So therefore, let's say they be with a daughter-in-law, they be chayiv sreifa. Skila. Again, this is not halacha. This is not halacha. We don't pass this way. A guy that becomes a ger is a guy. The previous ger is guy shenel done. He won't be chayiv. Even with his mother.
Right, he wouldn't be chayiv.
Well, his mother, you would be chayiv. No, you're still his mother would be chayiv. Wouldn't be chayiv. It's very interesting. Guy's not mitzvah his daughter, guys. Light could have been with his daughters. Light could have been with his daughters. The Ramban brings down. Light could have been with his daughters. It says it wasn't. It was something that was disgusting even in those days, right? Except in West Virginia. But I'm saying that I can't believe I said that. Yeah. Anyway, Lamai Hilchasa, I'm Rav Nachman, I'm a Rabbi Ravua, Leinitzcha Elo Le'eda Ve'edim Vasra. So you hear this, guys. If he's with his, all you need, they're killed by what? One dayan, one eid, and one asra. But if he's one of these surim of the Jew, then you need 23, 2 eidim, and asra. That makes no sense. 1 second. Migra Gora? He got, in other words, you're being makel on him by the arayos of a Jew? Elam Rabbi Yochanan Nitzchel and Naim Marasa. The parsha of Naim Marasa, which does not exist in the parsha of Goyim. They don't have arusa. They live together. They don't have Dileitu less lahu. Didainin lahu. They don't have it to judge. Bidina didon. Aval Ashes, but the less Abadina didon. They only have about it, right? Aval Ashes ish. Bidina did who danina lahu. But Ashes ish, we're going to judge. They're going to get. In other words, like this, guys. By Naim Rasa, if they're within Naim Rasa, they're going to get skila. They're going to get skila. That's we're judging in our judgment. They're going to get skila. In other words, it doesn't mean 23 2 eidim and asra. No, 1 aid, 1 dayin, skila, and that's the chiddush of skila. Now, Ashes ish, they would not get chenek, right? That's Ashes ish is chenek. They would get hereg. They would get sayef. Aval Ashes ish bedina did who did lahu. Okay. Furthermore, Tanya bala naim marasa need them beskila. Al Ashes ish need them bechenek. They get chenek. V'i bedina did who sayef who. If it's their dinim, they should get sayef. They went into the chuppah, and the marriage was never consummated. Less lahu. So they don't. It doesn't exist by them. Less lahu, and therefore they're going to be judged in our din, which is chenek. The Tanra of Chanina, bulas baal yesh lahem. They only have the parsha bulas baal after the marriage was consummated. Nichnas al chuppah of nivala ein lahem. They don't have. Tanya Kavasi, Rabbi Yochanan. You have a brayso that's a right to Rabbi Yochanan that your boy all the royals of Yisrael, the nidim bedina Yisrael, the naim rasel the inyan skila, kol ervas shebeis din she Yisrael mamitan aleha. Any bezdin that Yisrael b'nei Yisrael would kill on. Ben noach muzar aleha. But our royals aim bezdin Yisrael, and our ayos let's say chayve krisis, achoisay chayve krisis that you would not get killed for. Ain ben noach muzar aleha. Divrei Meir. That's words of Meir. There are many, many that you won't get killed. And the Gemara, as the Bible will tell us right now, Ben Noach is Bala Ervas Yisrael, right? Nidim Bedina Yisrael. Bala Royas Ben Noach Nidim Bezdin Ben Noach. This is Rabbi Yochanan. V'anu ein lanu ela benayim murasa b'lvad. There's your right. The only one that we can find is Naim Murasa. That they'll be judged like with Naim Rasa, with skila, and not what, and not the sayef. Let's consider that, because by us, that is also by them not. Right? And either the cheneku. And the chinami, this price goes that says chenek, and not sayef is according to what? Is according to Tanei Menashe. Like a last question. We'll go over this last part tomorrow. I went through it too quick. We'll go over it quickly tomorrow.